Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel Data. In this video, you will discover the essential concepts you need to understand before building dashboards in Power BI, including where Power BI retrieves its data, how different data connections work. Mastering these fundamentals will give you a strong foundation and help you work more confidently and effectively in Power BI. Here is our agenda. We start with a quick overview of the Power BI workflow so you understand how data moves from the source all the way to your reports. Then we walk through how Power BI connects to data and look at the different types of data sources you can use. Next, we will explore three connections modes: import, DirectQuery, and live connection, and when to use each one. After that, we will connect Power BI to a simple Excel file and then move on to connecting Power BI to a SQL Server database. By the end, you will know exactly how Power BI reaches your data and how to choose the right connection method for your reports. Power BI workflow. Power BI can connect to a wide range of data sources that includes cloud-based sources like Azure SQL Database, SharePoint Online, and Salesforce, as well as on-premises sources such as SQL Server, local Excel files, and other databases stored inside your organization's network. No matter where your data lives, Power BI gives you a way to bring it all together. Once you've connected to your data, the next step happens inside Power BI Desktop. This is where you clean, shape, and transform your data using Power Query, build your data model, and design your visuals and reports. Think of Power BI Desktop as your main workspace, the place where all the heavy lifting happens. After your report is ready, you publish it to the Power BI service. This moves your report to the cloud, where it becomes accessible to your team and can be shared, refreshed, and managed more easily. Now, here is an important part of the workflow. If your report uses on-premises data sources, you will need a Power BI gateway. The gateway acts as a secure bridge between your local data and the Power BI service, allowing your reports and dashboards to refresh automatically without manually uploading new files. Once everything is connected and published, your dashboards and reports become available across the entire Power BI ecosystem, including Power BI Mobile and Power BI Desktop. That means your users can view insights anytime, anywhere, on any device. Alright, now let's dive deeper into Power BI data flow so you can clearly understand how your data travels through the entire Power BI ecosystem. Everything begins with your data sources. Power BI can pull data from two main categories: cloud data sources like Azure SQL Database, SharePoint Online, or Salesforce; on-premises data sources such as SQL Server, local Excel files, or any database stored inside your organization network. Regardless of where the data comes from, the first destination is always Power BI Desktop. This is where you import your data and start shaping it. Once the data arrives in Power BI Desktop, it flows through Power Query. Power Query is a transformation engine that lets you clean, filter, merge, split, and prepare your data before it becomes part of your model. Every step you apply is recorded automatically, so the same transformations can run again during refresh. It's one of the most powerful parts of the Power BI because it turns raw, messy data into something structured and ready for analysis. After your data is transformed, you move into the modeling and visualization stage inside Power BI Desktop. Here you build relationships, create measures, design visuals, and craft your report layout. When your report is ready, you publish it to the Power BI service. At this point, the data flow splits into two paths. If your data source is cloud-based, Power BI connects directly to the Power BI service. If your data source is on-premises, you will need the Power BI gateway. The gateway acts as a secure bridge that allows the Power BI service to refresh on-premises data without you manually uploading anything. And by the way, if you want a deeper explanation of how the Power BI gateway works, I have a full dedicated video on my YouTube channel. Make sure to check that out. Now let's talk about data refresh, which happens into two places. Refresh in Power BI Desktop. This refresh happens through Power Query. It updates your data locally while you are working on your report, and refresh in Power BI service. This refresh happens after you publish your report. If your data is on-premises, the refresh is handled through the Power BI gateway. If your data is in the cloud, the service connects directly to the source. Now let's take a closer look at the different types of data sources you can connect to in Power BI. One of the biggest strengths of Power BI is its flexibility. It can pull data from almost anywhere. But to make things easier, we can group these sources into a few major categories. First, we have file-based sources. This includes Excel files, CSVs, XML, JSON, and many others. These are great when you're working with small to medium-sized datasets or when you're just getting started with Power BI. If your data lives in a folder on your computer, chances are Power BI can read it. Next, we have database sources. Power BI connects to popular databases like SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, and many more. These are ideal when you're dealing with large structured datasets that need to be queried efficiently. If your organization stores data in a central database, this is where Power BI really shines. Then we have cloud platforms. Power BI integrates seamlessly with Microsoft Fabric, Azure services, SharePoint Online, and SaaS tools like Salesforce and Google Analytics. These cloud connections are perfect for modern data environments where information is stored online rather than on local servers. And finally, we have online services. Power BI offers built-in connectors for a wide range of services from Dynamic 365 to GitHub. If your data comes from an online application, there is a good chance Power BI already has a connector ready for you. So whether your data is in a file, a database, the cloud, or an online service, Power BI gives you the tools to bring it all together in one place. Now let's talk about how Power BI actually connects to your data. And this is where Power Query comes in. Power BI uses a technology called Power Query to communicate with data sources. Whenever you choose a connector, whether it's Excel, SQL Server, Salesforce, or anything else, Power Query is the engine working behind the scenes. It connects to the source, pulls the data in, and gives you a full environment to clean, transform, and shape that data before it ever reaches your report. This is where you remove errors, merge tables, split columns, and prepare your datasets for analysis. Once the data is connected, Power BI gives you 3 different connection modes, and each one works differently depending on your needs. Import mode. In import mode, Power BI takes a copy of your data and stores it inside internal storage. This gives you very fast performance, full modeling capabilities, the ability to use all DAX features, but because the data is copied, you will need to set up scheduled refreshes to keep it up to date. Import mode is perfect for smaller datasets or when you need maximum speed. Direct Query mode. With Direct Query, Power BI does not import the data and instead it sends queries directly to the source in real time. This means you always see the latest data, no scheduled refresh is required. It's ideal for very large datasets, however, because every visual triggers a live query, performance can be slower. And not every connector supports Direct Query, so it's important to check capability. Live connection. A live connection is used when your organization already has a centralized semantic model, often built-in analysis services or Fabric. You'd use a live connection when you want consistent KPIs, measures, and logic across multiple reports. You want to reuse an existing enterprise model. You don't want to maintain your own data model in Power BI Desktop. In this mode, Power BI doesn't store data locally at all. It simply connects to the shared model and uses it directly. So that's how Power Query connects to your data and how import, Direct Query, and live connection each give you different ways to work depending on your project needs. Alright, now let's take a look at how we can bring data into Power BI from an Excel file, one of the most common and beginner-friendly data sources. Power BI even provides a sample Excel file you can use for practice. You will find this sample data under the Help section inside Power BI Desktop. Just download it and you are ready to follow along. Once you choose Get Data and select Excel, Power BI shows you a preview of the sheets or tables inside the file. At the bottom of that window, you will see 2 important options: Load and Transform Data. Let's break down what each one means. Load. When you click Load, Power BI imports the data exactly as it is. No changes, no cleaning, no transformations. This is useful when your data is already clean and ready to use. Transform Data. When you click Transform Data, Power BI opens Power Query. the tools used to clean, shape, and prepare your data before loading it into the model. This is where you can fix data types, remove unnecessary columns, filter rows, merge or split tables, handle missing values, and much more. Power Query is incredibly powerful and it's a key part of building reliable, professional Power BI reports. And don't worry, Power Query will be explained in detail in the upcoming training videos, so you will learn exactly how to use it step by step. Now let's take a look at how we can connect Power BI to a SQL Server database, one of the most common and powerful ways to bring enterprise-level data into your reports. Just like with Excel, Power BI makes the process straightforward. When you go to Get Data, you will find SQL Server listed under the database connectors. Once you select it, Power BI will ask you for two things: the server name, the database name. If you only enter the server name, Power BI can show you all available databases on that server. After you connect, you will see a list of tables and views, similar to how you preview sheets in an Excel file. If your SQL Server is on premises, meaning it's inside your company network, then after you publish your report to the Power BI service, you will need a Power BI gateway to refresh the data automatically. If your SQL Server is cloud-based, Power BI can connect to it directly without a gateway. Now that we've seen how to connect Power BI to SQL Server, let's go a little deeper into the data connectivity options you will see when connecting to a database. These settings are important because they control how Power BI interacts with your data and how your report performs. When you connect to a SQL Server, Power BI gives you two main connectivity modes: import and direct query. Let's break down what each one means. In import mode, Power BI takes a snapshot of your data and stores it inside the Power BI file. This gives you very fast performance, full modeling capabilities, the ability to use all DAX features, smooth interactions between visuals. But because the data is copied, you may need to set up scheduled refreshes in the Power BI service to keep it up to date. Import mode is ideal for small to medium datasets or when speed is your top priority. Direct mode. With direct query, Power BI does not import the data, and instead, every time you click a visual, filter, or slicer, Power BI sends a query back to SQL Server. This means you always see the most up-to-date data. No scheduled refresh is required. It's suitable for very large datasets. However, because every interaction triggers a database query, performance can be slower. Also, not all modeling features are available in direct query and not all connectors support it. When connecting to SQL Server, you will also see a section called Advanced Options. These settings gives you more control over how Power BI retrieves and interprets your data. Let's walk through the key ones. Command timeout in minutes. This settings controls how long Power BI should wait for the SQL Server to respond before giving up. If your queries are heavy or your database is large, you may need to increase this value. If the timeout is too short, Power BI may cancel the query before the server finishes processing it. For most users, the default works fine, but in enterprise environments, increasing the timeout can prevent errors. Include relationship columns. When this option is selected, Power BI automatically brings in the foreign key columns that help define relationships between tables. This is useful if you want Power BI to detect relationships automatically. If you prefer to manually control your model or want to keep your dataset lean, you can turn this off. Most beginners leave this on because it helps Power BI build the model more easily. Navigate using full hierarchy. These options control how Power BI displays tables, views from SQL Server. When it's on, Power BI shows the full folder structure or schema hierarchy from the database. When it's off, Power BI shows a simpler, flattened list of tables. If your database has many schemes or nested folders, turning this on helps you stay organized. If you prefer a clean, simple list, you can turn it off. So when you connect to SQL Server, you are not just choosing a data source, you're choosing how Power BI will communicate with that source. Import mode gives you speed and flexibility. Direct query gives you real-time data. Advanced options lets you fine-tune how Power BI retrieves and organizes your data. Thanks for joining me on this ride. I'm Arefa, a business intelligence data analyst in Germany. Power BI isn't just a tool, it's a mindset. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who is ready to level up their data game. Keep exploring, keep building, and keep going.